Hi everybody, this video is on long division. So the one thing that we are going to ask you to do in class to better understand long division is to first write your problems using a word sentence. So my word sentence I'm going to start off is a very simple division problem, but we're going to ask you to always refer back to the place value system in order for you to understand what's happening with long division. So once we have our long division sentence, the key words to understand that this is division are the words how many. Once you see how many, your brain should immediately understand that we're going to be working with division. The other thing I want you to do is, as you're reading the sentence, I want you to do a couple of things. I want you to go ahead and highlight the word in. And when I read my sentence, how many groups of 10 are in the number that follows the word in, I want you to put a square around it. Once you put the square around it, you're going to understand how to actually write your sentence in a numerical fashion. So the 10 has nothing around it, but our 100, which is the number right next to the word in, has a box around it. So that's going to give me a clue on how to write my number sentence. And the way you write your number sentence is that the 10 has nothing around it, but the 100 is inside the box. So the 100 goes inside the division symbol. Now the next thing that you have to understand is, what does division mean, or what does it mean to divide that 10 into 100? And the one thing that always should come up in your brain is that the number inside the division symbol can be broken down, or should be broken down, according to the place value system. It is incredibly important for you to do that. So I know that this first place is my 100th place. My second number is my 10th place, and my third number is my 1's place. We want you to go ahead and do this in every single problem that you do with long division. You will see the reason why. So I've rewritten the problem because I'm going to go ahead and use the place value system to understand what I'm doing when I'm dividing 10 into 100. So the key here is the place value system. So once I know that I have the place value system, I'm going to go ahead and check to see how many times 10 can go into the 100th place. So what happens is that this turns into this. I'm trying to see if I have 10 and I multiply it by my 100, which is this place right here, I will get an answer of 1,000. Now, I know that 10 cannot go into 100 1,000 times. So that is the reason why 10 cannot go into the first place value, and I make an X for myself to say that. So my next job is to see how many times 10 can go into the 10th place. First I work with the 100th place, now I'm working with the 10th place. So my number sentence on the side is going to be 10, and I'm not going to use 100 anymore, I'm going to use 10. Because I'm moving through the place value system. So once I check that, I multiply 10 times 10, and it is equal to 100. So right above the place value of the tens, I know that 10 can go into this 100 10 times. And what I do is I just write the number 10. And when I multiply 10 times 10, I see that I get 100. And then I follow the same steps. 100 minus 100 is 0. I've checked my work. I understand what place value means when I am dividing numbers. Now let's go to a second problem where the numbers become a little more difficult. So now let's pretend we have the following problem. 10 divided into 56. Remember my rule. Turn it into a sentence in order for you to understand what we're doing with it. Once you turn it into a sentence, check your work to see if you've placed the numbers in the correct place. What do I mean by that? Same idea as the last problem. How many groups of 10 are in? Remember the word in? I'm going to put the 56, because that's the number after the word in, inside a box. That will help me to see this guy or this number needs to be inside the division symbol, and it is. The second step that I want you to do is the number inside the dividend. You need to separate it using the place value system. Now this one's a little bit simpler because now we only have two place value systems. We have the ones and the 10th place. Now remember, those two places are going to help me to understand what do I need to multiply the 10 by in that place value system. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the problem, and we're going to work it out. 10 divided by 56. Since I know that I'm dividing or starting with the number 10 up here in the place value system, I know I have to multiply this number with the first place value system. So I'm going to go ahead and say 10 times 10. I got this 10, and I put it right here. And I got this second 10 from the place value system. And once I multiply, I see that 10 times 10 is equal to 100. Well, that's too much. I went overboard. I want 56. So, remember my rule. Just make an X here saying that 10 cannot go into 50, the way it's written in this problem, or into that place value system, not 50, into that place value system. So once I do that, I check my next place value system. I'm going to go ahead and write this 10. And I'm going to go ahead and get this 1 up here, because that's my place value system. And then I'm going to start multiplying to see how close I can get to 56. So once I start multiplying, you'll see 10 times 1 is 10. Well, that's too small. I got to get as close as I can to 56. So I'm going to continue in the ones place and do the same thing. 10 times 2. And I notice that that's 20. Still too small. I'm trying to get as close as I can to 56 using the ones place. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. 10 times 5 is 50. Notice that I'm still staying in the ones places because that's the place value system I'm working with. I'm getting closer. I got to 50. Let's try 10 times 6, and it's 60. Now I went over. As soon as you go over, the top number or the top sentence should tell you that that's the number you're going to be using. So then I go ahead and write the number 5 here. I already did the multiplication work, which is 5 times 10, which is 50. I'm going to go ahead and write it. I'm going to subtract it, and I'm going to see that I get a remainder of 6. Now, for the time being, we're going to let you go ahead and just write a remainder of 6, which means I have 6 left over out of the 10. The best way to write it is this way. So if I have my division problem like this, I'm going to go ahead and write the 5 here. My remainder is 6. I'm going to say I have 5 whole 10s inside 56 with 6 out of 10 left over. Try to get away from using this letter, remainder. Do not start using that. I want you to start to think of this as saying 6 parts out of 10 are left over. Okay, so now what I want you to do is either watch the video again, do the problems by yourself that we did on the video, then check your work. Once you're done doing that, do the first part of the worksheet, and then watch the second video where the division problems become a little bit tougher. When you're doing the worksheet problems, We want to see all of this work. We want to see you using the place value system, and we also want to see you writing sentences. Don't forget your little square, because we might be giving you sentences to try to figure out if you can write the numerical expression for the sentence. Good luck!